Welcome to Silent Medicine, the podcast where science meets spirit and your body is finally allowed to tell the truth. I am your host, Dr. Nnenna Ndika, clinical psychologist, integrative medicine doctor, and a woman with a very sensitive system of her own. This is a quiet space for people whose bodies have been whispering or shouting, something's not right, even when the tests look normal. And today, I want to offer a gentle reframe. What if some of what you've been fighting has actually been your body trying to save you? Take a slow breath. Let your shoulders soften just a little. And let's listen to your inner healer together. There are so many people walking around right now feeling frustrated with their bodies. Some feel betrayed. Some feel confused. Some feel tired of trying. Some feel like they're doing everything right, and still something feels off. And when your body is doing things you don't understand, fatigue, anxiety, gut changes, tension, insomnia, emotional overwhelm, it's easy to interpret all of it as dysfunction. But I want to start with a softer possibility. What if some of what you've been judging has actually been protection? Not perfect protection, not comfortable protection, but the best your system can do with what it has. Because the body is loyal, and even when it doesn't feel like it, the body often chooses survival first. This episode is not about diagnosing you. It's not about medical advice. It's not about labeling symptoms either. It's about offering a new relationship with your body. One that starts with curiosity instead of criticism. One that asks, what is my body trying to do for me? Before the body signals distress in obvious ways, it usually compensates quietly. It adapts. It reroutes. It braces. It numbs. It speeds up. It slows down. And many of the things we call problems are the body's strategies to get you through a chapter. Sometimes a hard chapter. Sometimes a long chapter. So the first truth I want to offer you today is this. The body's first language is protection. The quest to rebalance what is no longer in harmony. And protection isn't always pretty. Sometimes protection looks like symptoms. Sometimes protection looks like patterns. but it still deserves respect. So, let's walk through some quiet ways your body may have already tried to save you, heal you, rebalance you, physically, emotionally, and through the nervous system. Not to scare you, not to pathologize you, but to help you see your system with new eyes. Let's begin with fatigue. Because so many people carry shame around it. But sometimes fatigue is not laziness. Sometimes it's not a lack of motivation. Sometimes it's not weakness. Sometimes fatigue is the body saying, if you won't stop, I will stop you. Because you've been running on adrenaline, running on responsibility, running on being the strong one, running on getting it all done. And fatigue can be a boundary you didn't know how to set. A forced pause. A protective break. Now, anxiety. Anxiety can feel like a problem that came out of nowhere. But often, it's not a problem. It's an alarm system that became sensitive. Because it had to. Sometimes anxiety is a nervous system saying, I learned that it's safer to scan than to settle. When you've lived through unpredictability, when your environment has been emotionally unsafe, when you've had to anticipate other people's moods, or when stress has been chronic, the nervous system becomes trained in vigilance. And that isn't a character flaw. It's a survival skill that got stuck on high. Next, let's look at numbness or shutdown. This one is tender. Sometimes the body tries to save you by turning the volume down. That can look like numbness, disconnection, a kind of I don't feel much, or I feel far away from myself. This is not always depression. This is not always apathy. Sometimes it's the system saying, if I let you feel everything right now, it will be too much. So it protects you. Not because you're broken, but because you are human. Let's talk about the gut. Your digestion is not just physical processing. It's also nervous system processing. And sometimes the gut changes when your life has become undigestible. Too much input. Too many demands. too many emotional stressors, too much holding things in. Sometimes the gut is saying, something here is not safe for me to take in. It could be food. It could be stress. It could be relationships. It could be grief. It could be the pace you've been living at. The gut is often the first place the body tells the truth. Now, did you know insomnia can feel like betrayal? But sometimes insomnia is also a protection. Sometimes the nervous system didn't learn that night is safe, or it learned that if you rest, everything catches up. Some people can't sleep because the body is on alert. Some can't sleep because the mind finally has silence and the backlog arrives. And the deeper message can be, I don't know how to fully let go yet. Let go of what happened earlier today. Let go of what happened last month. Let go of what happened 5 years ago. Let go of small things, big things, or the accumulation of both. And sometimes it is not only about letting go of what happened. Sometimes it is not knowing how to let go of what did not happen. What was supposed to happen at work, within a relationship, or at home while growing up. Some of these may be conscious. Some of it may live as unconscious scripts. This is why forcing sleep often fails. Sleep comes from safety, and safety is a practice. Now pain, tension, tight shoulders, clenched jaw, braced hips, a belly that wouldn't soften. Sometimes tension is not just posture. Sometimes it is protection. It's the body creating armor, and armor is intelligent. Armor says, I've been through enough. I'm staying ready. If you've had to endure emotionally, if you've had to stay composed, if you've had to keep going, the body learns to hold itself together, and it can't forget how to release and relax. Sometimes the body tries to save you through craving and compulsions. Craving isn't always lack of discipline. Sometimes it's the nervous system reaching for regulation. Sugar, salt, coffee, scrolling, stimulation, shopping, overworking. Not because you're weak, because your system is trying to shift state. Sometimes it's trying to soothe. Sometimes it's trying to wake up. Sometimes it's trying to calm down. Sometimes it's trying to feel something. It's not the best strategy long term, but it may have been the only one available in the moment. Now, let's explore overfunctioning. This one is very common for strong people or people who see themselves as strong. Overfunctioning can look like always being the one who handles it, always anticipating needs, always doing more than your share, always staying on top of everything. And sometimes that isn't personality. It's the nervous system saying, if I stay ahead, I stay safe. Overfunctioning is often an old protection strategy, a way of preventing chaos by controlling outcomes. It can be praised, but it can also be expensive. How about being in a low mood? Let's look at that as well. Sometimes the body saves you by reducing output. Low mood can be complex, but sometimes it's the system conserving energy, pulling inward, reducing exposure, protecting you from further depletion. It can be the body saying, I can't do more right now. And there is wisdom in that. And finally, sensitivity. Some people feel everything more affected by noise, more affected by conflict, more affected by certain foods, more affected by people's energy, more affected by the pace of modern life. That isn't always weakness. In my opinion, it really is. Sometimes sensitivity is simply high definition signaling. It means your system detects early, and that can be a gift. When you learn how to work with it instead of against it. Now, here is the important distinction. Even when a protection strategy is or was wise, it can become a pattern that keeps running long after the crisis is over. What saved you then may not serve you now. So we honor it without staying imprisoned by it. And this is one of the most powerful lines you can say to your body. Thank you, body. We needed that. But we are building something new now. This is where healing begins. Not in war with the body, but in relationship with the body. Your body. And sometimes the body doesn't whisper anymore. Sometimes it escalates because it's trying to restore order. Sometimes we call dis-ease is the body's way of trying to restore order. Not because your body is punishing you, not because you did something wrong, but because the system is constantly trying to return to balance, to regulate inflammation, hormones, immunity, nervous system tone, digestion, sleep, all of it. And when something has been out of alignment for too long, when stress has been chronic, when rest has been scarce, when the load has been heavy, the body may create stronger signals to interrupt the pattern. Sometimes symptoms become a forced reordering, a turning point, a wake-up call, a full stop moment that says, we can't keep doing life this way. And I want to say this with tenderness. This doesn't mean illness is good or that it's always meaningful. Some complications are simply painful and unfair, but even then, the body is still trying to heal, stabilize, and re-establish order from the inside out. That's still loyalty. That's still the body trying to save you. Your body trying to serve you. So if this is you, the question isn't, what's wrong with me? It's, what is my body trying to reorganize? And what support does it need now? Once we see the protection, we can respond with collaboration instead of conflict and confusion. Remember, even when it hurts, the body is often trying to restore order. Here's a simple way to work with this in real time. I call it name or identify it, find the need, offer a new option. So we start with step 1. Name or identify it without shame. My body is protecting me. That sentence alone can soften the inner fight. Step 2. Find the need. What are you trying to prevent? What are you trying to help me survive? What do you need right now? You don't have to force an answer. Sometimes the body answers through sensation. Step 3. Offer one small alternative. A breath, a boundary, a sip of water, a walk to the window. Turning down input for 10 minutes. Letting one task wait. Placing a hand on your belly. Asking for help. Accepting treatment. Slowing down and letting support in. Because healing often looks like this. Not the absence of stress, but the presence of inner options. With inner options, when they return, your body relaxes because it doesn't have to do everything alone. So before we close, I want to offer a short practice. This isn't about forcing calm. It's about building collaboration. It's about letting your system know, I see you. I'm listening. And I can offer something now. So before you go, you may want to sit down. Place one hand on your chest or belly and just feel one point of contact. Now silently say, thank you, body, for trying to save me. And without forcing an answer, ask gently, what were you protecting me from? Stay with that for one breath. Now offer one small support, something real and kind. You can say, here is what I can offer you now, and name one thing. A slower pace, a boundary, a drink of water, a pause, a breath, a moment of softness. Now exhale slowly, like a quiet sigh. And say, we are safe enough for one breath. One more easy exhale. we are done now. And before we close, thank you for spending this quiet time with me today. As you continue making a way towards the close of season 1, I'm grateful you are here. Every episode is an invitation to slow down, listen differently, and remember that healing may already be happening in ways we do not immediately recognize. If something in this episode touched a nerve in a good way or helped you feel a little less confused or overwhelmed by it all, you might share it with someone whose body has also been carrying a lot in silence. You can find more calm, practical reflections at silentmedicine.com. And if you'd like gentle support about once a week, you're welcome to join the Silent Medicine newsletter there as well. You would find the newsletter, community waitlist, reflections, and podcast links at silentmedicine.com. And because we are approaching a season final episode, the newsletter and the community waitlist are also where I'll share the return timing for season 2. So if you'd like to stay close during the pause, that's the simplest place. A gentle reminder before we close: this podcast is educational only. It isn't for medical, nutritional, or psychological advice, and it doesn't replace working with qualified professionals who know you and your history. Until next time, may you notice one quiet way your body has already tried to care for you. One quiet way your body has tried to save you, heal you, or rebalance what it has been carrying too much for too long. And may you meet that signal with respect, even if the world has not honored it yet. May you keep listening to the healer within. I am Dr. Nnenna, and this is Silent Medicine. Take care.